the oldest of the gang, but
certainly there is a gulf, because the Go team, you'd never have an exclamation mark in the middle of a band's name in my day.
Exactly.
It looks completely wrong.
Where did you stand on the Go team?
Well, I always find that they make me feel a bit tired, really, but I quite like that. Well, the thing is, I enjoyed it, actually. I must say, I'm annoyed because I want to really slag something, otherwise I'm going to lose this
this
sort
review
of
section.
bad boy thing, which I've tried to build up patiently. I don't suppose Clarkson's vocals on any of these. I like it, but perhaps not Sunday afternoon fodder. It's a bit it's all a little bit good bassline. Good, it's catchy. No, I liked it. Yeah, I'll have to hope for something rubbish in the next couple.
So there we are. Even an old man like him is down with the kids. Sammy, you love them, don't you?
Yeah, I do love the Go team, and I really did enjoy that. I was out last night at a venue that would certainly entertain that sort of music, and though leg bruisings were hard, it was a good night by all.
It's a good job that neither of you slammed it, because they're actually giving it away free from the 21st of July on their website, so that would have been pretty grim to have slagged off a free single.
Good that it's called Milk Crisis as well. It's about time there was a song called that.
Exactly. I don't think I mentioned it was called Milk Crisis, but
you wouldn't necessarily pick that up from listening to it.
Exactly. Well, part of it is sung in Japanese, of course.
Of course it is.
So that
again, young people.
Before we get to the final tune, last week we compiled together a list of questions that we thought we would ask future guests, just to try and get under the skin, try and get a sense of who they are. And we never quite finished the list. Maybe you'll be able to add one of these, add one to this list, Mark. But I'm just going to fire these questions at you. It's the first thing that comes into your head. Okay,
right.
It's a bit like inside the actor's studio.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's a bit like when the police talk to you as well.
Exactly. Okay. So straight away, what would you ban?
People playing music off their phones, like, really loudly. There's no need for it. Without headphones. Any sort of music listened to without headphones in public places. Go on, over. Also Graham Norton, those shows where he finds someone to be in a West End musical, and it's really just an advert for the musical. Banned.
I thought you were going to say ban Graham Norton.
No, I think he should be legal. Yeah.
Because you don't see, the problem with Graham Norton is if you ban him, he just goes underground.
That's right, yeah. And then you've got 10 times the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need to appoint a Graham Norton czar.
Exactly.
No, I think you should have him, but regulate him more carefully.
Exactly. Yeah. A question from Kate. What advice would you give your teenage self?
I was very, very moody, depressed teenager, so I would just say snap out of it, you'll be alright. In 10 years you'll be on Stephen Merchant's show and everyone will be happy.
Rosie says, if you could jump into any film and live the life depicted in that film, what would you choose?
Oh, that is hard. Probably The Truman Show, because I've got enough of an ego. I think I'd play up to it, yeah.
What would you like to apologise for?
Quite a bit of stuff I did in the previous hour, and also... also, there was a girl called Anya, or Enya, that I was at school, not Enya the singer, but Anya, like an Irish name, and I pushed her in a ditch, for no real reason. She was just annoying me, and I've sort of walked around with that for 20 years, so
you finally got off your chest.
She's listening, she probably doesn't remember, but I did do it, and I'm sorry.
It's a strange place to finally confess up to that, but we appreciate it.
It's better than nothing though, eh? Better now than when I meet my maker.
If you could exchange lives with anyone, who would it be?
Oh, blimey, that's quite hard. Can I come back to that?
Yes.
Because I don't want to, panic and just get someone like Tim Vincent and then think, oh, I could have met them that.
Sure. Who's Tim Vincent?
No, what's his name? Jamie Vincent. Who's that bloke who's...
What?
Is it the bloke who used to be on,
Blue Peter.
Yeah. What's his name?
Tim Vincent.
That's what I mean. If I could have gone with him and think, well, this is fine, but it's about as good as my life was anyway. Yeah. I want this to be... Actually, I would have loved to be a pop star. I would have a go at being Tom York, maybe. He's obviously a bloke with a few issues, but can you imagine actually being him? Oh, yeah, I'd give that a go. Yeah, York. I love York's life.
What wakes you up in a cold sweat? Maybe some kind of recurring nightmare?
The knowledge that we're all going to die and everything we've ever done will be completely meaningless, and that's for the rest of eternity.
Do you know what'll cheer us up? It's a new single from Block Party.
Yes.
Last week on the show we were hearing news reports that on the Block Party website there was a big countdown. A clock was ticking away to something. We wondered if it was going to be a horrific terrorist indie atrocity. But actually it was the release of that, the forthcoming single from Block Party, Mercury, released on the 11th of August. Block Party, I have to be honest with you, they're a band that have not really sort of floated into my field of vision. Is that the same for you, Sammy?
They've obviously floated in because they do tend to, well, they're overplayed in youth venues, one might say.
Sure.
But they've had a couple of belters that a lot of the album tracks aren't worth giving a listen to, but I think that's going to be one of the ones that's going to be thrown out there. I have to say, it's the third time I've heard it in full. Just starting to get angry by the end there. Starting to get a little bit, right, it's great now. I don't need to hear it anymore. Thank you for your time. I might be over it already.
Right, so maybe on Sammy's website we're going to see a clock ticking down until you do something horrific to Block Party. They're being ubiquitous on the radio.
Awful terrorist attack towards Block Party. That's a bit cruel.
Well, if you like,
It's a bit small scale as well. If you're going to bother doing a terrorist attack, you should at least broaden the net a bit.
you mean sort of taking in a couple of other major, maybe the Klaxons?
We've all got people that we would take down.
Sure, yeah.
Clarkson?
Let's add that list. We'll
I think
have
let the Klaxons make another album before, the jury's still out. I don't think after a debut you should be necessarily be the victim of terrorism.
Shall we put that question onto the list of Steve Show questions?
Which band would you like to take out in a terrorist incident?
Or to whom would you like to commit some kind of terrorist
I think it's the sort of thing you can get in trouble for saying that on the radio.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's your show, not
I'd like to
mine.
veto that.
Okay. I'm going to put it on the list anyway. We'll figure out the exact wording whilst we find out what Mark thought of that tune.
Oh, I didn't particularly do it. I have never quite got Block Party, and I found it a little bit, I don't know, sort of one tone. Yeah, it was alright, but I don't think it's worth having a countdown for. When you look at, things like that are normally for like the millennium or something, aren't they?
Sure.
I felt if I counted down, if I followed it on the internet for that long and then it was that, I think, well.
Because you are sort of hyping yourself up there.
You're really saying it's worth you living your life around this event. Yeah, I think it justified that hype.
Sure. Well, thank you very much indeed. We're pretty much done on this show. We've got live music next week from Brute Chorus, so we're looking forward to that enormously. Incidentally, final rock myth. Do you ever hear that one about Van Halen supposedly demanding on their rider that all the brown M&Ms be removed from their M&M bowl? And do you know what that was? That was true, and it was in the rider, but it was not because of sort of, fussy rock and roll demands. It was actually a clever line put in because they had such a list of demands because their stage show was so huge and so vast. They had to, had to have kind of reinforced stages and lighting equipment and stuff like that they threw that in. Must have M&M's brown ones taken out so that they could check the M&M bowl to see if someone had read all of those points.
Right.
And so yes, that was there, but it wasn't to do with sort of Eddie Van Halen's demands or David Lee Roth being a nutter. It was actually quite a canny move. I know you've got some big shows happening in Edinburgh. You might want to think about something similar.
I might. If they try and get green Skittles on me.
I know you're furious about them. We've got Stuart McConey's Freak Zone next. We'll be back next week, as I say, with live music from Brute Chorus. Bye. Oh, what a way to start the show. Arctic Monkeys and Dancing Shoes from the Rhythm del Mundo Cuba album that came out a couple of years ago, featuring members of the Buena Vista Social Club, sort of adding their distinctive instrumentation to songs by Coldplay and U2 and Kaiser Chiefs, and obviously the Arctic Monkeys there. Steve Show, BBC Six Music with me, Steve Merchant, and my tiny gang. We got Harry in the house.
Yeah, hi, hello.
No, don't be afraid to say hi, and thanks for coming in.
Well, it's a pleasure, always a pleasure.
You were away last week, but you're one of the mainstays of the show.
Well, very much so, We're at the start, stuck with you. You know, we've had some bad times.
Oh, there's been tears over the years, mate. Don't think about that.
Well, October last year, that was particularly grim.
And I was thinking as well, if we ever fell out, I mean, you've got secrets.
I know a lot about you.
You've got secrets about me, which if you went to the papers, maybe you'd be sort of semi-naked, perhaps just wrapped in a sheet.
Well, the thing is, credit crunch and all that, my job isn't as secure as it used to be.
Yeah.
You know, it's a cutthroat industry, and I could be out of my ear any second. If I did need to make money quickly, it's going to be off the back of you.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, just to tease any tabloid editors listening, have you got one or two words that just could just tease them with the sort of revs that you could be offering?
Oh, it's difficult,
for big bucks.
isn't it? We've obviously spent, we've
Be careful there. Do be careful.
yeah, no. But we've slept in quite close proximity in the past, haven't we?
Well, hang on. That's just too. Now that there's an ambiguity there, which is just, which is now really quite unsettling.
Tabloid editors, if you want to know more,
Yeah.
Email in, text 64046, with your best offer,
Sure.
and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. Do you have questions you'd like to ask of Harry? 64046. We'll read out the questions. We'll see what the average listener is fascinated to discover.
Yeah.
Because you know what, I've got no shame. I don't mind. If you're willing to maybe cut me in on that deal,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
we could.
I think in maybe 80-20 my favour.
Yeah, well, maybe so. We'll see how that pans out. And Sammy, you've got less Steve secrets at this stage, but who knows? We don't know how the day could unfold.
Few to middling, I'd say.
Yeah.
Not many, but enough.
Anything at all that you think the listener should know?
do wee an awful lot, but that's about it, really.
I'm happy to tell people that. They already know that
I think they do know that already.
Quite frequently. We got a lot to talk about. Brackets. We got nothing to talk about. But we'll do that after we've heard from Dodos. Why not stop it there? Dodos and Fools on the Steve Show, BBC Six Music from their new album Visitor. Live music later on the Steve Show. We've got James from the Brute Chorus. He'll be here playing his guitar, singing, which is deeply exciting. In the meantime, I'm here with the gang.
Yeah, well, we've already put a request out, Steve, for people to have questions for me to ask about you, so I can make money off the back of you.
No problem.
But while we're here, I've got a question for you guys, because something happened in the Harry house this week, which caused me literally to burst into tears of laughter, roll around on the floor. I missed a train due to being incapacitated by laughter.
I have to say, you are not a man who really laughs at much. You're generally not mute.
I'm a dour man.
You're a very dour man, and you don't laugh. I've never seen you uncontrollably weeping with laughter.
No, I proper lost it, apart from the time at that wedding we were at.
I'm trying to remember what that was.
Yeah.
Can we talk about it?
Probably not.
No?
But
were we laughing at someone?
no, we were just being like little school children.
Oh,
really,
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, so this instance, we're back from holiday. As ever, you get back from holiday, there's nothing in the cupboards, nothing in the fridge, so you've got to go shopping. Now, you go shopping, you don't want to just go to the supermarket unprepared, go around willy-nilly just throwing stuff in, so you make a list.
Right.
So I said to my girlfriend, I said to Holly, I said, look, can you make a list? So that when we get to the supermarket, we know what we've got to get. So I went off, did some other stuff. I came back, she was in the kitchen, she was writing stuff on a pad, as requested.
Yeah.
I said, oh, don't forget, I need some kitchen roll, and we need some baked beans. No, she says. No, she says, what I'm doing, I'm writing a list of all the things we've got.
What?
She wrote a list of all the things that we had, so that when we went to the supermarket, we wouldn't buy more of the stuff that we got.
That's the most extraordinary thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I just burst into laughter, and then she was trying to defend herself, and I was just crying with her.
She wrote a list of everything you've got.
Of the things
But where
that we've
does it
got.
stop?
Well, this is it. It doesn't. And the thing is, you go to a supermarket, they've got millions of different items.
Of course they have.
So how do you, with the 25 things you might
You're
have-
constantly picking up something and checking it against the things you've already got.
But she defended it. She says this is normal behaviour.
It's not normal behaviour.
She thought it helped. I said it didn't help. But I just wanted to make sure I'm right on this.
Now, without wishing to be racist, she's foreign.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's she from?
She's Australian.
Ooh, see, there's a problem right there.
There's an issue.
There's a whole other set of rules going on, aren't there, with the Aussies? They're
Maybe-
playing very much by their own rules.
Exactly, maybe you need to throw it out just to Australians. Is that normal Australian behaviour? Are we condemning a race?
Is that how you go shopping down under?
There was a guy I shared a place with at university who used to take his receipt from the supermarket trip and he would check off everything as it was eaten.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, right.
Yeah, so as he ate it over the course of several weeks, he would check off, beans, tin 1,
Yeah.
and that would... So eventually that list would be empty and then he could go back to the supermarket and
That's
stock up.
brilliant.
So that's fairly... But that at least has a certain logic to it,
Well, yeah, it needs
But
time.
making a
That's
list of everything you've got, it's so... It's almost sort of existential.
Yeah,
There's a sort of something quite sort of profound about it in a way.
That's it, because I wouldn't ever have considered that.
Yeah.
And when she was trying to defend it, there was a mild sort of sense in it, but it just got me thinking about how her brain works, and just a little bit funny.
Yeah. What I like as well about it is the fact that you've presented yourself as quite a sort of sexist figure. Why don't you make a list of what we need to buy at the supermarket while I go off and do some stuff?
Well, no.
What stuff did you go off to do?
Well, I had to go and have a shower.
Right.
I don't want to go stinking.
No, right, so she's got to go stinking.
I'm very much a modern man. She'd already had her shower.
Right, I see. Okay.
But I always have to do the shopping for this very reason. She's not good at shopping. She shops like the first time I shopped when I was at university. You're living on your own for the first time. You go to the supermarket. You come back with popcorn, jelly, a cabbage, a huge jar of mayonnaise, and that's it. And you've got to make meals for a week out of that.
Although I have to say, I'm beginning to see the logic of what she's done, because you mentioned mayonnaise. I got 4 jars of mayonnaise.
You always buy it.
I don't need any more mayonnaise, but I always forget have I got mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Like red kidney beans. I got a lot of red kidney beans for any future